Hello there everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am a reader, Stephanie, and today's reading is about healing and letting go. So we're going to be looking into your energy and seeing exactly what it is you need in order to heal or in order to let go and move on from a situation. I kind of want to blend them to see how they would interweave together, because I feel like when we let go, we heal, and vice versa. But we have 3 piles here for you today. We have pile 1 with this lovely black tourmaline and a blue candle. Pile 2, we have this beautiful flower agate and this teal candle. And pile 3, we have this beautiful green calcite and a purple indigo candle. So take a moment, take a few deep healing breaths, think about your situation, open up your heart, and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. So if you chose this black tourmaline and this blue candle, then we have a reading here for you about how to heal, let go, move on, and what else will come through once you let this go. One thing that is coming through, pile 1, well, 1, maybe some of you have a cat, because I just found this teeny tiny piece, little hair fur, and I don't know, I don't have a pet right now with me. I don't live with animals anymore. So I'm wondering if some of you heal with your pets, like maybe you have a cat that purrs in a particular way, like a certain frequency, because I think this is actual like science fact, like correct me if I'm wrong, but I think cats purr at a certain healing frequency for people. So if you're ever around your cat and you're just snuggling them or laying with them and they just feel very relaxing and soothing, this is them doing their beautiful work as healers, because I feel like pets really are healers to us, whether we're aware of it or not. Same thing with dogs, but I don't think dogs purr, or I don't know, maybe yours does. But we're going to tap into the oracles to see what regardless of what it is that you're letting go of or healing from, we're going to look at the oracles to see exactly where you are energetically. And you can use this as a vibe check to see whether this resonates with you or not. And then we'll go into the tarot to see exactly how it is you need to move and what needs to come through here, as well as any guidance coming through from the divine or your spirit guides or any ancestors as well. But let's go ahead and look at your oracles. Oh, another thing, pile 1, you heal better in the evening, in the twilight, and or at night. Because I almost didn't do this reading because it's a little bit later in the day, but something about this reading was calling me. It's like, go ahead and do it, go ahead and do it. And likewise, either you do this better during this specific time of day, or if you ever get just like a random urge and rush to start working on whatever it is that you need to heal, or your shadow work, whatever you do in order to make yourself feel better, do it. This is your instinct, your intuition coming through, letting you know that it's time. But the card you got, and I'm gonna censor this because YouTube, but it's the Nurturer, number 44, which is a master number. Some of you could be number or Lifepath 44. We have resources, security, and sensuality. And I think this is Gemini, which is odd because she looks more like a Taurus. This looks like the I want to say Hathor or Hathor, the goddess Hathor or Hathor. And she's a bull goddess, but also a love, divine love goddess. You have a very nurturing energy about you, but this energy can also be redirected towards yourself, pile 1. With resources and security, some of you may nurture and heal yourself through making more abundance. For example, this could be people throwing themselves into work, or people making use of themselves. Like, you keep yourself busy in order to heal or to prevent some healing, quite honestly. But the sensuality lets me know that this is going to be a few select of you, so it may not resonate with everybody. The way you make love, or the way that you express yourself in a more sensual way, is actually very healing. And I feel especially your partners will know this. Like, they may know this about you, or they will know that there's something very divinely guided about you. And that's not typically something I like to talk about too much, because I feel like it could be an excuse to, you know, go around and sleep with people. But that's not the case, because it only comes out with those that you truly love. It only comes out with those that you choose to have this space with, even if it's a situationship. If it's a particularly karmic situationship where you both need the healing, or where you both are it's got to be something good, you know, like a friends with benefits, but you both benefit by healing each other. It's that kind of energy. So yeah, sorry that that's the first thing I start with. I feel like that got very deep very quickly. But I feel like you have that kind of energy, pile 1. The other cards you have, we have the dead end job, number 31. We also have prayer answered, number 12. Yeah, you're definitely some people's prayer answered. And the fact that we have another bull-like creature here, this is a buffalo, lets me know that you have very strong Taurus energy. You could have something like Chiron in Taurus, or any important Taurus placement. Jupiter in Taurus, Taurus in a North Node. Yeah. We also have the storm, XLVII, which I want to say is 67. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong here. You got 2 self-care oracle cards. We have Connect with the Earth, number 13, and Spend Time with Animals. What was I saying? Some of you heal with animals. Even if it's a dog, if it's a cat, I feel like the more time you spend with animals, either you heal them yourself, because I've known this, I've seen it. My family's dog, she loves to work with crystals, and I would practice Reiki on her back when I was first starting off, and she would love it. Like, she would like totally be for it. And one of my another dog I used to live with, whenever I would get into the space of like connecting with energy and source and start meditating, he would sit in my lap and just like vibe. You know, he would love it. He would know when I'm doing it too, so he would just sit in my lap and start vibing with me. It was the cutest thing. And similarly, I feel like a lot of you, if you have pets, they help you heal, but they also kind of subconsciously teach you, because all pets are healers. I truly believe all pets are healers. And you kind of just share this space where you learn from each other, but on a very subtle level. Like, it's never intentional, of course. It just happens to happen. But with Connect with the Earth, some of you definitely ground yourself in the earth and you heal through going out into nature. So especially if you're the kind of person who likes to take a daily hike, or if you just like to walk outside and get some fresh air, know that that is the perfect and most basic way to start healing. And not basic in like a bad way, basic in that it's the simplest thing you could do. I feel like people who aren't even aware that they need healing do this themselves, because I'll see like I'll be in areas that are just, you know, not the best, you know, it's like low vibe and it's like just not great, but you'll always see people out on a porch. They're trying to heal by getting that fresh air, because they know if they go back into the house, they're going to get all that nasty energy. So it's that kind of feeling. But for you, pile 1, you could implement like a meditation with your walk, or you could go hiking, or you could go to like very sacred landscapes or sacred places on earth to heal. I'm thinking of like the pyramids, specifically the ones in Mexico. I don't know why, because it's been a while since I've been to those. But I'm also thinking of like Machu Picchu, or anywhere, any historic site that has like a lot of history is somehow blended with the earth. And this is another way you can heal. So if you've ever been anywhere of importance, like the Great Pyramids, or I don't know, anywhere that is, you know, world renowned, I feel like you actually heal, but at the same time you learn from being there. Like, especially if you're the kind of person with psychic abilities where you can really tell what went on the whatever area you are in. Like, if you could tell the history of that area just by staying in that area, you learn and heal from that. That was very weird. It's been a while since I've done this, but an example that's coming through, I used to work in a very specific bakery. And I know for a fact that, well, one, it was like on a mound of quartz, because the energy there was always very electric, like, or at the very least, that's how I felt it. Like, I felt that place had a lot of like, where I live, clear quartz grows naturally. There's a lot of quartz here. There's lots of quartz quarries. So certain areas of where I live will be very energetically amplified. And that was one of those places. Another thing that let me know is that near it or around it was some kind of grave site. Specifically Native American, but also like something weird happened, because the energy there was very volatile and it would pop up like every certain cycle, it would pop up. So maybe some of you live in an area like this, or you like to go to places like this, and it helps you heal somehow. Especially with the storm here. That's why I bring that up, because the storm makes me think of like very thrashing energy. I don't know why that specific word came through, but like energy that can get volatile out of nowhere and randomly. Kind of like how a storm will seem to appear out of nowhere sometimes, where everything will be very still and very quiet. And then suddenly you hear the crack, or suddenly, you know, the rain starts pouring down. I feel like some of you may have grown up in that kind of energy where sometimes it would just be quiet in your household and suddenly, you know, stuff would happen, whatever that would be. And I feel like that's the main thing you want to heal. I see this a lot with people who have had childhoods like that, where they never knew how to handle a parent or what would be going on with their parents, especially when they have, you know, parents that were about to divorce. There's an energy here that you learn to heal before the storm hit, or you would brace yourself for the storm and then learn how to heal. A lot of healers come from backgrounds like this, and I know it's not something I would wish upon anybody, or not even something you would wish upon yourself, Pile 1. But I do feel that it's an environment that definitely taught you how to learn your healing abilities a lot quicker, or to make use of this inner guidance that you've always had, to learn to tap into the divine, to learn how to tap into communicate with your ancestors or your guides. There's a feeling here that some of you learned how to handle environments that may not have always been the best, so that you could move through the world in the same way, because this is something you wanted to heal. You've always wanted to heal spaces. You've always wanted to heal people that have suffered in certain kinds of spaces, especially with the dead-end job here. There's a weird scenario coming through. Some of you may take really dumb jobs or just really stupid jobs, and you may stay in them for a little bit longer than you want to, not because you like it, and maybe not even because of the money or benefits, but because you know the people around you would benefit from somebody like you. I feel like, especially if you had like particularly awful jobs, because that one bakery I was speaking about, it wasn't the worst job I've ever had, but it was definitely it's up there. You learn to thrive in that environment because it's kind of you testing yourself out for the rest of the world, because you know you're meant to heal. It's funny because I know this reading is meant to see how you heal yourself. You heal yourself by throwing yourself into situations that you know are not the best or may not be the greatest for you, because that's one way that you're going to prove to yourself that you know how to do it. Because there's nobody's making you do these things. You know, nobody's making you take this job, or I don't know, maybe they are, but nobody's making you stay within this environment, except maybe some aspect of yourself that wants to prove to yourself that you can do it, that you have what it takes in order to survive. Well, one, to survive this kind of environment, and two, to heal yourself, to learn how to heal others, to learn how to make an environment better than it was before. You know, you want to leave it better than how you entered it. You have one more card, by the way. I almost forgot it. This is from the Let Go Oracle. We have explore life and create your own experiences. Let go of being normal. Ooh, I love this. Explore life and create your own experiences. Let go of being normal. There's something here about normalcy. I don't know how to say the word for normal. The essence, the state of being normal, that never resonated with you. Create your own environment, create your own experiences. I feel like some of you are learning how to create a better life by looking back at what didn't work. One way you heal yourself, and one way you will heal yourself, Pile 1, is by creating an environment that you know is going to suit you. So for example, let's say you still live with your parents, or you have roommates, or you may live either with people you don't like, or in an environment or area you don't like. You will know, because of having been in that area, exactly what it takes for you to be in an environment that is going to better suit you, put you in a better mood, put you in a state that is going to only allow you to thrive and nothing else. You heal yourself by giving yourself the space in order to blossom and be your weird, authentic self here. Because honestly, I feel like some of you have been fed the idea that a dead-end job, well, maybe not a dead-end job, but that a job at a desk doing some sort of thing or another is going to lead to a happy, fulfilling life. And the truth is, it's not. At least for you, Pile 1, it's not. Especially if this is currently you. You're at a job where it's just not emotionally fulfilling. It may pay the bills, and you may even like the people you see there, but there's something about that job that is not fulfilling you, and that will be one way you heal, when you finally learn, or when you finally find something else that is your calling. And what that calling is will vary. For some of you, it may be working with animals. For others, it may be working in nature. And for others, it could be maybe something a little bit more daring and challenging. Maybe you want to... I'm seeing like either a firefighter or like a social worker, somebody truly quite literally helping people in distress and or need. Because even though the job might be a little bit more daunting, it might take up a little bit more, it's at least going to be very fulfilling because you know you're going to help somebody. So take that only if it resonates. With prayer answered, quite honestly, pile one, you are a prayer answered to a lot of people, regardless of whatever your job is right now. I feel like the few friends or the few people that really have gotten to know you, because you're somebody who doesn't show your true self to everybody, they benefit by being around you because you're a very healing presence. You naturally heal people, pile one. And I can tell, because people may look back at you or they think of you and they think, wow, I'm so glad that pile one is in my life, and I couldn't imagine them not being there to tell me this one key piece of advice that changed my life forever. I really feel that a lot of you are this way. Some of you, honestly, some of you heal yourselves by healing others. I feel like the emotional satisfaction of having known that you've made a positive impact of somebody heals your heart little by little every day. And it's really quite beautiful. It's very mutual, much like with your pets. But I feel like with pets, it's easy to love them, you know, with people, with human beings. It's something a little bit different because you never know who you can trust. You never know who's going to end up doing what. There's a lot more volatility there with the storm card here. They can be like storms, really. I think every person is a little bit of their own, oh my God, what's it called? The word escapes me. Their own set of temperatures, environments. They're their own little storms waiting to happen, you know? You never know when somebody's going to need help. And I feel like a lot of you, you're natural born helpers, you're natural born healers, and you heal yourself when you express this side of yourself. So yeah, like I said, Taurus energy is coming through. The storm makes me think of the Tower card in tarot, and that card is Uranus energy. So some of you could have a very strong Uranus placement in your chart, regardless of where it is. Some of you could have some kind of Taurus and Uranus trine within your chart. I know that would be like my generation. We have Capricorn and Uranus, so especially if you have Taurus, look that up, because I feel like that's one key aspect to how you heal. And it's going to be very, very out of nowhere. Like I said, it's very sudden. If you ever get that sudden instinct or that sudden gut feeling to just start healing yourself out of nowhere, even if it's like 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, by all means do it. I've done this before and I've had like the best sleep, even if I had to be up within, you know, the next 4 hours. So never doubt that instinct, never doubt that pull. Why am I being shown Ultra Instinct? Maybe some of you are Dragon Ball fans, but which is very interesting. I really do love that. I love anime in general because it teaches you a lot more about energy, because Japan, I don't know if it's their culture or if it's just anime in general, but, or I think Reiki, as we know it, at least came from Japan. So there's something there about learning how to work with energy. And as the Saiyans ascend in Dragon Ball, like every new form of theirs goes up and up higher in the chakra levels. At least that's how I've always seen it. Take that only if it resonates and if you know what I'm talking about. But Sailor Moon does this too. They work a lot with energy there. Like all the monsters there, they're going around just draining people's energies. But regardless, let's move on to the tarot to see how else you are healing, my beautiful pile one. Though I guess it can be confirmed through these oracles that you are very much a healer yourself, a natural born healer. We're going to use the Star Child Tarot. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm only going to draw 3 cards. The middle card is going to show your inner self, whatever it is that needs the most healing. The outer cards are going to be the assisting energies, if that makes sense. And even if it doesn't, just, you know, trust that the guidance that you need will come through. For my pile one. Okay, you're getting 2 cards for the middle. We have Strength and the Two of Swords. Some of you struggle with finding the strength to say what it is that you need. And I feel like this is mostly for yourself. It's like if you need time off or if you need time for yourself, some of you might struggle with being able to express that or to find the courage to say the truth to certain people about what it is that they need to hear, or even things that you might need to see yourself. Because the Two of Swords in the Rider-Waite, it's, I want to say the person in the image has a blindfold and they're also holding the swords. So you yourself might blind yourself to what exactly it is that you need. And it could be due to something lacking. It could be due to a lack of courage or something to do with the courage to love yourself and truly accept what it is that you need. Let me get the other two cards. We have the Emperor, which is interesting that this lion is coming through. So maybe some of you have Leo energy, which is funny because the oracles gave me Taurus, and then here we have Leo. But yeah, this is being in your power and strength, courage, and then we have the lion for the, and it makes me think of the cowardly lion in what is it, The Wizard of Oz? Ooh, and the Lovers. The Lovers, I'm not taking it as relationships here. I'm taking it as you combining two aspects of yourself. Back of the deck, Four of Wands. Some of you have a hard time letting go and enjoying celebration. And in some cases, some of you might find it hard to connect with people sometimes, which doesn't surprise me. Sometimes people who are natural born healers have a hard time connecting with people, especially if you're very naturally intuitive or very naturally psychic, because at the base of a human being, you know that not everybody is willing to accept, not everybody is willing to change, and not everybody is willing to hear the truth. I think you're one of those people who understands that. So there's something here about courage and truth combined together, being able to heal you and being able to shift you into what it is that you need to be. Because we're not just healing here, pile one. We're allowing you to ascend into a better dimension of living, a better dimension, a better level of existing and doing things that you need to do. So for some of you, this is going to be a very strong calling to, one, be honest with yourself. I feel like the more honest you are with yourself about whatever it is, especially those very particularly touchy subjects or those things which you either don't want to deny or are denying very strongly, it's going to be whatever triggers you the most. Go deep in it, because there's something there that you don't want to admit to yourself. And I feel like it starts with yourself and then it will start with other people, because how can you expect people to be very honest with you if you can't even be honest with yourself? And I'm not trying to say this in a very in a mean way. Like, this is with a lot of love, pile one. I feel like some of you have lived either in the past and possibly currently in an energy of denial, because the Two of Swords here can be denial. It's that which you don't want to see or which you don't want to admit to yourself. Particularly this card, because like I said, in the Rider-Waite, it's the swords that are crisscrossed like this and the person is blindfolded. But here, she's not blindfolded. In fact, there's a big opening within her heart. When you learn to be true to yourself, your heart chakra opens. And when you heal the heart, you heal everything, because it all stems here. Some people think that light or energy is from either the crown or from the root. And yes, it can enter through both of those areas. But where it really illuminates, where it really radiates, it's within the heart. And this is why self-love is so important. When you learn to love yourself, you can love anybody else. To quote RuPaul, how can you, if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? Or is that how it goes? Tell me in the comments. I think I'm butchering that, but he was onto something when he said that. She was onto something when she said that. There is something here about you accepting your own truth, and what that truth is will vary to everybody. But I know that one of your truths is standing in your power and standing with courage, because I feel like some of you think that you have been disempowered, like somebody took that power away from you. And what I'm hearing from your divine ancestors, from the people who love you on the other side, is that no, they've never taken away your power. Your power is something within you that they've never been able to take away. They may have taken away your voice. They may have taken away certain things physically from you. But what they can never take away is your silent crown. What they can never take away is your beautiful, radiant soul. And you have to be very honest with yourself. Are you letting them take your power? Or have they taken that away from you? And I do feel for some of you, this could have been from a past partner. It could have been from somebody that was supposed to love you. So it doesn't have to be necessarily romantic. It could be a friend. It could even be a parent, because when I see the Lovers card, at least in this reading, it's two people combining together to be one beautiful entity. And in this case, somebody who was supposed to be that for you either took that away or made you feel disempowered in some way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter how. It could have been by certain comments. It didn't even have to be malicious. It could have just been by the way they treated you. It could have been by the promises they made that they failed to deliver. It could have been through just certain ways that they intended to make you feel. Let's say you were dating some guy you didn't even like, or girl, whatever, whoever this person is. And they said something either really mean or really stupid, or that was clearly meant to, well, I don't know if it was meant to, but they definitely said something that made you feel inferior or made you feel like you were less than. Don't let them take that power from you. Know that it is them, their insecurities, and whatever they got going on, because there's nothing wrong with you and it's all them. The example I'm being shown, let's say you're trying to get with somebody, and then as you're out and about, they either look at somebody else like in a very particular way, or they mention something like, I don't know, maybe they say how hot some other person is and you're supposed to be there with them as their date. That was very inconsiderate of them. Why would they do that? Don't worry, it's got nothing to do with you, because you definitely are a very attractive person. You're definitely very hot. It's this person who has a problem, who can't even see that they're not supposed to be saying these things around people that they are potentially trying to date. You see what I mean? By you, and I'm not saying you deserve that comment. I'm not even saying you deserve that kind of person. That just happens to be one instance where you were around that person to see what it is that you wanted or didn't want. But if you give that comment or that event that occurred that much power that it allows you to lower your vibration or to be in a negative state of mind, you're just giving up your power. Why give away your power to that? Again, I'm not trying to sound accusing, and I'm not trying to shame or guilt you into anything, but some of you may have given your power away far too much or for far too long to certain people who were meant, well, maybe not meant to love you, but for people who gave the idea that they were supposed to be there to love you. In some cases, this could be a parent. In fact, I feel like for a lot of you, it could be a parent, because sometimes parents, I mean, yes, they provide for us, they can mean well, but they will say certain things, be very critical of us, or try to mold us into certain things that we're not actually meant to be, because they have unfulfilled dreams, they have unfulfilled aspirations or desires or whatever, and that's them. That's them. As much as they want to try and convince you that, no, it's you that's the problem, it's really them, because you didn't ask for the life that they were giving you. All you asked was for your basic needs to be met. And as long as they were met, that's all they need to, meddle in. As long as they give you love, that's all that matters. But I feel like some parents they'll try to mold their children into something that they are not. So again, don't see this as somebody taking away your power or taking away your dreams. You can always take those back. You can always get back to what it is you've always wanted to do. You can always find this emperor energy. I'm hearing King Without a Crown by Matis Yao. Matis Yao, is that how you pronounce his name? I haven't heard that song in a very long time. I'm not even sure what it's about. But King Without a Crown. You're still a king, even if you don't have your crown. You're still a queen, even if you don't have a crown or a throne. Because this is your birthright, is to do whatever it is that you need and want with your life. You're only given one life, at least for now, in this very body that you have. You can do whatever it is that you want with it. Let go of any notion of anything anybody has ever brought upon you that you think you need to live up to. Because that's not your problem. That's theirs. Let them go figure that out. Let them go do that. You do what it is you want. Same thing with these lovers that come in and out of your life. They want somebody that looks like XYZ. Cool. Let them go find that. They can either love you as you are or they can leave you alone. In fact, you can make it up for them. You don't like that they're giving you that energy? Walk away. And I know that's easier said than done, but this is essentially the energy that is coming through. A lot of you are going to take ownership of the things that have brought you down. And it's going to feel very liberating. It's not going to be easy, pile one, but I know it's within you because you are a king or queen without a crown, but you are still a king or queen. Maybe that's why Dragon Ball was coming through, because Vegeta doesn't even have a planet, but he still goes on saying he's the prince of all Saiyans. It's like, there's only 3 of y'all, so chill out. You're king of 3 people, but he's still a very proud king or prince. He was never crowned a king. And that's the thing. Why not allow himself to be crowned a king? I would like to see that story arc. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Okay. This is getting a little out of hand, but regardless, pile 1, you have more authority over your entire life. You really do. I think once you understand and know and accept that you have a lot more power than you're willing to give yourself credit for, you will heal. Once you learn how to manifest, whether that's something you do intentionally or unintentionally, you will learn. You are able to create the life you want. You are able to manifest whatever you want. Just as easily as you heal people, it will be so automatic. You won't even have to think about it. And one day you'll be sitting there with everything you like and everything you love in an environment that you enjoy and that you truly feel peaceful in and feel so emotionally satisfied. And you're going to look back at your old self and be like, wow, I'm glad I went through that, because if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be able to appreciate where I am now. And that makes me tear up, pile 1. That's beautiful energy to be in. This is what the Four of Wands is. The Four of Wands is a celebration. It's a celebration of life, of the life that you've created and everything that you have, because you know it's going to be so amazing. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. Other energies coming through that may be of importance. Emperor is Mars, so it could be the planet Mars, Aries, Scorpio. Strength is Leo. The Lovers is Gemini. The Two of Swords, I want to say, is Moon in Libra. I think I looked that up. Or Mercury in Libra. Something in Libra. And the Four of Wands is, I want to say this is Venus in Aries, which is what I have. So yeah, this is how I know you guys are born warriors. But let's move on to your closing advice. So for your closing advice, I'm getting 3 cards. One is going to be the Kuan Yin Oracle. I used her the other day, and thank goodness I did. Kuan Yin is the goddess of mercy. I forget exactly where she's from. I want to say she's Chinese, but I think she's all over East Asia. I think like several areas claim her. And they all call her different names, but she's essentially the same person. We have Nectar of the Lotus, number 20. She's got the goods hanging out, so let me cover that up. I really do love this. This is you relishing in the fruits of your labor, essentially. This is also you drinking from the cup of the nectar of the lotus, which is I think they also call it the nectar of the gods. This is you enjoying everything you've created, enjoying the life you've always wanted, enjoying the fruits of your labor. Anything that you've worked hard for, you're going to claim it. You're going to accept that you will one day be drinking from this beautiful lotus with all the things that you've ever wanted. I'm also going to get a card from the Gods and Titans deck. Ooh, interesting. We have Jizu support. I want to say Kuan Yin is also accepted in Japan, and Jizu is also Japanese. I wonder if some of you have like, well, let me confirm this, because I was talking about anime and Dragon Ball, so maybe some of you have like some sort of a connection to Japan, even if it's just loving the Japanese culture. Maybe some of your, you could have ancestry there. You could also travel there a lot. So support, an invitation to offer care and support, not only to others, but to your own self. A call to balance caring and caretaking. Yeah, like I said, when you heal yourself, you heal others as well, and vice versa. Walk the streets near many temples in Japan, and you will soon come across a statue of Jizo. Jizo is Japanese Buddhist god, more accurately I can never pronounce this word, Bodhisattva, a being who helps relieve suffering and who chooses not to ascend to heaven until all beings have attained enlightenment. I'm wondering if some of you have a calling similar to this, pile 1, or you kind of, maybe in a past life you wanted to do this, but you never achieved it, so you swore to yourself that you would keep reincarnating until you were able to do this, to eliminate suffering, to heal people. Kuan Yin is similar. She's also a bodhisattva. I can never say that word. But essentially an energy worker, a healer, an ascended master. I think that's what we call it in English. And then we're going to get a card from the Affirmators Deluxe. But yeah, I feel like some of you might have like some kind of calling to Japan, which is okay. I think a lot of us 90s kids did, because we were so bombarded by all the amazing Japanese anime and stuff that was going on, as well as video games. Yeah, we were bombarded by Japanese culture. And I think we still are to this day. But I want to say it started with us. Or at least 80s babies as well. 80s and 90s babies. Okay, so from the Affirmators deck. Oh, you've got 2 cards. And guess what the first card has? Cats. Compliments. I know how good it feels to get a compliment. So I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it. In which case I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a compliment puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. So yeah, I feel like some of you might make really healing compliments, or even the way you say hello to people could really make their day, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like if you ever decide to smile at somebody, it could really help them heal. It might give them a little sense of peace within their heart. Even if it's just microscopic, it can help them feel better. So never underestimate the power of a good compliment, or of a good morning, or a hello, or, you know, anything along those lines. I feel like conversation can really heal people. And the second card you got was joy. To enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Joy is like butter. I can put it on anything and it'll make it way better. Today, I will add joy to everything. Really slather it on. Today, I am the Orville Redenbacher of joy, and life's popcorn is about to get it. So yeah, I feel like some of you, when you just decide to tap into the energy of joy, not only do you heal yourself, but you allow yourself to shift the vibration, to shift the energy. You could be somebody who is a little bit like the life of the party, or you can really amplify the energy by bringing joy to it, especially like within a work environment or within like a friend group. If you just come in with a great mindset, I feel like you can really uplift everybody around you. And by doing that, you uplift yourself, and any healing you send out into the world will come back at you tenfold. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile one. This has been such a lovely reading. Let me know if any of this resonated, or if you would even like to claim it. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will send all my love to you, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you choose this beautiful flower agate, then we have a reading here for you about letting go and healing, what we are letting go in order to heal, and what we are healing once we let go. So there's a very interesting song coming through. It's a French song called La Javanaise, and it's essentially, the line that is sticking out the most is, we loved each other for the duration of a song. So I think for some of you, what you're trying to heal is heartbreak, or the residue of an old relationship, maybe a past relationship, or a relationship that kind of has always stuck with you, especially if you still speak with this person, or if the effects or whatever went on in that relationship was just so profound that it still resonates within you from time to time whenever you encounter somebody. For example, if you ever meet somebody and you find yourself immediately comparing them to your ex or to a situation, this is what we're going to be talking about here. But let me light your candle. Yeah, I feel like this one is going to be very relationship based. So it doesn't matter if you're in one or not. I feel like even if you are in a different relationship from the one you are trying to heal from, it can still affect you and the way you move within that relationship. So if you're ready to heal that, then we can get going with your reading. So we're going to set your crystal aside, and we're going to look at the oracles to get a better view of what is going on here. So we have, water element, number 2, emotion, intuition, and imom kole, C-O-E-L-I. I never know how to pronounce that, but definitely a lot of water energy. So we're in our emotions here. You don't necessarily have to be a water sign. I just feel like right now you are dealing with an emotion that is very prevalent within yourself, that either you are ignoring or that you grasp a little too easily. This is how you know you need to heal something, because you're always at one extreme of this situation. Either you're way too deep in it, or you're not acknowledging it at all. You have to be somewhere in the middle. But let's go on with the rest of your cards. We also have sacred boundaries, number 43, which makes sense for a relationship. I feel like boundaries can be really blurred within a connection. You got 2 archetype cards. We have the tear and the venom. Yeah, I feel like some of you may have dealt with not so healthy relationships in the past. Some of it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic either. It could also be the things you experienced growing up, either from family or from friends or from some sort of institution like teachers or anybody that was supposed to be a mentor. We have sweet treat with number 50. So maybe some of you like to eat your emotions or bake your emotions. Yeah, because, and I find this to be true, when we are in a certain emotional state, we can really put that into our food when we're cooking or baking. I say this as somebody who bakes and cooks a lot. So you always want to be in a good space. You always want to be in a very nurturing or happy space when you're cooking or baking. Because whatever emotion you're feeling when you're making this stuff, you're going to eat back. So especially if you're in an emotion of always being angry, you might want to cool down before you start cooking or baking. And then we have the sun. Oh, this is beautiful. And then your letting go card. We have, I'm going to show you the image because I'm going to have to turn it around to read it. But I love this. This looks like rain. I want to say this is rain. It could be flowers, but it looks like it's raining down on her, but she's being covered by this big, lovely leaf. And I don't know what kind of flower this is, but it's very lovely. I love these cards so much. You are willing and able and won't give up. Oh, sorry. And won't give in or stop hoping. Enjoy your journey to love. So quite literally, you could be looking for love, or you could just be learning to love yourself. There's definitely love at the heart of all of this. I mean, there's love at the heart of all healing. I mean, honestly, it's where we find our self-worth. It's where we're able to relate to others. It's where our energy really vibrates and expands the most, is within our heart. So I feel like every single reading will have love of some aspect or to some extent within it. But this one in particular is really dealing with relationships. Because my beautiful pile 2, I don't know what people have done to you in the past, because this venom definitely comes through as some sort of mistreatment of some kind. Whether it was physical or verbal, it doesn't matter, because we have the venom and the tear. And I definitely see the venom as the people who have forced you to either blur your boundaries or set different boundaries that you may not have wanted. And I see the tear as that which is trying to heal you. When we cry, it's releasing stress. We release stress when we cry. At least that's what I've always heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. So I definitely feel that you may have been either a child or a person who at one point cried a lot. You cried a lot because your life was very stressful. And even now, I feel like whenever you get handled stressful situations, you have no choice but to cry. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not shaming you for this. There's definitely a feeling here that you may find yourself in environments that remind you of a space that was not very healthy for you. It was very unhealthy for you. And when you get in this space, even if you can't explain it, you will get the sense or the urge to cry or to hide away or to just, you know, shut down. There's a feeling here that some of you know it's there, but there's like a fear of tapping into it because you're afraid of having to relive these experiences again. Though I guess it could also be relieving. Maybe some of you really hold on to this grief, you hold on to this hurt because you somehow feel that it makes you who you are, when the truth is you will always be who you are. Holding on to this is really just poisoning yourself again with this venom here. You know, you learned the lesson, you've lived the experience, and you've grown from that. So there's no reason to keep holding on to the hurt and the pain and or the story that is keeping you in this emotional trap, is what I'm hearing, that you kind of set up for yourself. It's kind of like emotional hoarding. You keep this pain here, even though it may have, doesn't matter how long ago it was, doesn't matter if it was years ago, doesn't matter if it was last week. You do have the possibility of letting it go whenever you want. But some of you, I'm not sure if you've been conditioned this way or if this is just how you've learned to cope. And again, I'm not shaming you. I'm not trying to guilt you into anything. But you hold on to your hurt because you somehow feel that it gives you power or that it gives you character or strength or something. And it already has given you strength. It already has given you your power. But make sure you're not letting this whole thing take your entire power, if that makes any sense. Because I really do feel that it's like hoarding something that's unhealthy for you, you know? Because I'm literally seeing a room and like all these pointy traps and you just keep them there in that room to have them. But it's like, why? What are you trying to trap in that room? It's like in case you want to go back in there and remember what pain feels like. When you put it in that physical context, it makes less sense and it seems a little silly. But that's essentially what you're doing with your emotions. But because it's in the mind, it's in the heart, it's in whatever space within your body you may actually feel it in, that's essentially what you're doing. And how you heal this will come in various ways. I feel like for some of you, you do this by... What's coming through is that you create. Because with sweet treats here, I'm thinking of baking, I'm thinking of cooking, which is, to me at least, it's actually an art form. To me, cooking and baking can be an art form. Baking is, in general, can be a science, really. So I feel like some of you release this through creative endeavors. It could be through, you know, your basic artistic things like painting, drawing, music. But it could also be through trying to create a certain type of environment. It's through creating something which people will nourish themselves with. But you have to be very careful of the energy you bring into this space whenever you are also trying to heal other people. Because though it is very true that when you heal other people, you do heal aspects of yourself, you want to make sure you are a little bit more healed than the people you are trying to heal, so that you can be on a higher level to help them up, if that makes any sense. It's very much put the mask on before you put the mask on anybody else in the plane when it's going down, you know. You have to make sure you're in a good space, or at the very least a space higher than them, or a much more stable space, so that you can help them. So I definitely feel that some of you are healers, or that you at the very least like to nurture, especially with these children here in the Sun card. This card pops up a lot in my readings, by the way. And it does give me like this inner child carefree kind of energy, where some of you are just, honestly, it's like your inner child is begging you to release it. It's restless with the need to let this go, to let this pain go, especially if this pain or hurt came from your childhood, whatever it may be. And I know it's going to be different for everybody. You can't just heal things overnight, but I feel like for some of you, you actually could, if you decided in that moment, in that time, to finally let it go. And how you let it go, like I said, it's through creating. It's through doing something. You could write it down on a piece of paper and then rip that paper up and burn it. Or you could decide to write a song about it and maybe just, you know, sing it for yourself, or record it and try to sell it. I'm not sure what it is that you do, pile 2, but I'm getting very highly creative energy. But whatever it is that you do, always do it with the intent and the purpose to release the pain and to let it transmute into the beautiful, abundant, loving energy of the universe. Don't let it stay within you. It's meant to be let go. I like to think of balloons sometimes, where you just, you know, blow up this balloon with all that negative energy and let it go up into the sky, where it will eventually pop and that energy will disintegrate into something else. Or if you're more the grounded type of person, you could always just bury this energy, bury all these emotions, and let it go back into the earth, so the earth can cleanse it and grow it into something more useful than pain. But for a lot of you, I'm not exactly sure where this pain came from or why you hold on to it. But I definitely get the feeling that some of you, I'm not sure how to put this in the words. You might be very escapist, because I do get that when I get the inner child cards. It's like we revert back to that state in childhood where we just kind of played all day and didn't do anything until, you know, it was time for dinner. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of energy at all. I feel like it's conductive to our growth and our betterment and our brain health as adults. But when we're doing it to escape certain feelings, certain situations, that's when it becomes a problem. So for example, and I see this a lot, people who go out to drink every night or who drink every day. There's nothing wrong with drinking. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But when you're doing it to self-medicate, to ignore a certain problem within your life, that's when you need to let that go. Or people who take on big video games. And again, I'm not saying video games are bad. I love video games. I like to immerse myself in one from time to time. But when people are relying on that every night to ignore whatever's going on, or to, you know, yeah, it's that escapism that's the problem. I see this with people who read books as well. And you can come at me in the comments all you want. but I've been there. I've been that book hoarder who has a million books, who always has her nose in the books, who, you know, I escape into the fantasy land of these books because I didn't want to deal with anything else on the outside. And I'm not shaming you for that, but you have to acknowledge when it's a problem or when you're using it as an excuse to not face whatever it is you're feeling or whatever it is that you need to face head on. Again, I'm saying this with so much love, and I'm saying this as somebody who's been there before, because I ask anybody who used to know me, I used to have a million books, and now I have like a handful. I think that's been replaced with tarot decks, but I'm not using these tarot decks to escape. At least I don't think so, because I can't really read for myself as well as I can read for the majority of you here on YouTube. But there's a feeling here that some of you are having a hard time looking at yourself in the mirror and acknowledging that there's a feeling there that you have to let go or that needs to be released. Again, you hold on to it so dearly. And it's okay. I feel like at one point it was something that soothed you, but at some point it's become stagnant and stale and it needs to let go or needs to be let go. And I feel the struggle there, Pile 2. I feel it. And again, there's nothing wrong with this. I am going to read from the book just to see what the Audacity Deck has to say about the sun, because I was interpreting it in the tarot way where it's all about your inner child and confidence. Some of you might lack some confidence either in actually letting this go or in continuing with your life because of this pain and hurt that keeps coming back. So from the booklet, we have the sun, the source of all life, the generator, the father, the marker of a new day. The sun comes into our lives to nurture, grow, warm, and signal a new day. But as integral as the sun is to our life as we know it, the sun can also burn. It's time to turn the page, start a new chapter, and not dwell on the past. Tomorrow is another day. Yeah, just like I was saying, it's like the sun. It's great for you. You need it because it gives you, I think it's vitamin D and other essential things. And it can also keep you warm. But if you get too much of it, it can, you know, be damaging. It could cause skin burns. So know how much of this grief is okay for you, and then know when to release it. Know when it's time to be done with that chapter, or at the very least turn that page. You can always go back to it when you need it, but you don't need to be stuck in it. You don't need to live in it. And what this grief is different for everybody, so I'm not going to try to see what it is. But what I am seeing is that it was something hurtful that somebody did to you. And in some cases, it could be something from the past. It could be a situation that happened, like losing a loved one or something to that extent. But for the majority of you, it's going to be this venom energy of somebody coming in, being a bit manipulative, or a lot manipulative, and kind of feeding off your pain because it was something that they could control. And I feel some of you may have a lot of empathy for this person, and that's very natural. After all, if you're here, there's a high chance that you're likely a very gifted empath, a very sensitive empath, or healer yourself. But at some point, you have to stop feeling sorry for this person and acknowledge that their problems are their problems, and they should not have taken that out on you in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like that's harder with somebody like a parent, especially if those parents are still around you and you still have to deal with them every day. But at some point, we've already grown up. At some point, they should have acknowledged and known that they either had to apologize or that they themselves had to also grow up, especially for those of you who had young parents. There's a feeling here that if you were able to forgive, if you were able to grow up and be a better person, why couldn't they? You can love them as much as you want, and I still feel that you can love somebody, but also see them exactly for who they are. But whatever their problem was with you, that's theirs. It's not yours. You were just an unfortunate casualty of their problems that they refused to resolve. And maybe some of them have already resolved it. And even if they haven't asked for forgiveness, if they've already resolved it, I guess it'll just have to stay the way it is. Because I can feel some of you may not want to reopen that chapter of that part of your life, whether it's with them or with you, or because you kind of know that they're in a new space and they're going to be weird about it. Again, only take this if it resonates, as I am, after all, just a free reading on YouTube. But I am trying to give advice here for those of you who are having to deal with the pain of the past, because it's affecting you now and trying to love yourself and trying to find the confidence to move forward. And in some cases, in the relationships you choose to have, whether they're romantic or with friends. I think in particular if they're with friends, because it's easy to look at a romantic relationship and say, well, of course I'm messed up here because this and this. But when it comes to friendships, I feel like everybody could use or needs at least 1 or 2 friends in their life. And if not friendships, then even the relationships with your siblings. Maybe especially the relationships with your siblings, because they can be, much like parents, a little tricky to navigate. But there's a feeling here that it's time to let something go so you can move forward, because for sure it's keeping you in an energy of playing small, of thinking you are less than somehow, of thinking you are not enough, when I promise you, Pile 2, you are enough. If you can hear that car, it's a confirmation. You are enough. So just let's get in that car and go. Let's get going with all this healing energy, because I'm really loving, it's like I'm feeling the heart space open, kind of like a flower. Or a lotus. In fact, I think one of the mudras for opening the heart space is the lotus. And this is what it looks like. You put your pinkies together and your thumbs together, and you open up your fingers like a lotus blossom. I do mudras without thinking, because I'll see that whenever I'm doing these videos. I do this one a lot, and I think I do like other ones like these. I'm not aware that I'm doing these mudras. I think in a past life I may have done them. Or maybe they just come naturally to me. It could also be my guides like shaping my hands that way. So if you see me doing those, please be aware that I'm not aware I'm doing mudras. They just happen whenever I'm channeling, because my hands do all kinds of weird stuff when I'm recording these videos. And I didn't notice it until I started this channel either. Which is something I should probably look into. But regardless, we're going to go into the tarot now, my beautiful Pile 2. So I'm only going to draw 3 cards, and these are going to give me a look into how you're going to heal. The middle card is going to be the card that's internal, and the cards on the side can either be external, or they can be something that will assist the internal healing. And in some cases, it might be more than 3 cards that happened in the last pile, because I'm trying to keep it simple. But honestly, with a topic like this one, it can get a little heavy, and it can get a bit complicated. So for my Pile 2, healing the heart space, healing the feeling of self-love, and releasing the venom, along with the tears. Ace of Swords. This hurt you more on a mental scale than you realize. Especially for those of you who have been diagnosed with being on, like, if you're neurodivergent in some way. I'm not saying this caused this, because you don't have to go through some sort of trauma in order to become this way. But I feel like it's definitely shaped the way you think and the way your mind operates. So the healing will start somewhere in the mind. It's going to be more mental than anything, which is funny because I was getting more emotional. But I think for some of you, you could have a moon in an air sign. That's what this is giving me. So you process your emotions very logically. And I kind of love that. I know a lot of moon and air sign people. In fact, these are the relationships I've had the most, which is funny because I have moon in Pisces, which is probably one of the more emotional signs out there. That and moon in Cancer. Like the both of us were just crying over here. But all my best relationships have been with people with a moon in an air sign. Moon in Libra, moon in Gemini, and moon in Aquarius. I love you guys. So maybe if this is your placement, just takes this confirmation. Let's get 2 more cards for the assisting energies. We have the 2 of Crystals, which doesn't surprise me. This is balancing. And perspective. This is the Hanged Man. Oh, I love this. I love this so much. Back of the deck energy, 10 of Crystals. I feel for some of you, this is affecting your finances. If not, it could just be affecting your ability to find something stable, something long-lasting, and something grounding. For example, if we're going with the theme of a relationship, the way that you were brought up or the things of the past that are still hurting you, the hurt that you're still holding on to, could be affecting the way you go about looking for a stable, long-term committed relationship, because that's what the 10 of Crystals is. This is a 10 of Pentacles. It could also be affecting your ability to stay within something long-term, especially those of you who are very commitment phobic. There's, again, no judgment here. I'm not saying that you need to be committed to anything, but it could also be, for example, affecting your career. If you're somebody who switches career every 2 to 3 years, well, one, I guess you could be doing it for the raises, because it's been proven that if you switch careers more often, you do make more money. But it's also something here about really dedicating time to yourself and building that which will sustain you for the rest of your life. Again, no judgment here if you don't want something too permanent, but I think everybody deserves and or needs one thing in their life that is permanent, because there's kind of like a fear of settling down or a fear of staying stuck in one place. And again, I think this is what the Two of Crystals is here. For you in particular, Pile 2, and this is very odd because I was not expecting this from the Oracle. So maybe, I don't know, because what I'm getting is somebody who's rather indecisive about how you've been treated or about the things that you've gone through. So it's like when you look at the past, you're looking at it from various perspectives. And I think that's very healthy to be able to see something that happened in your past in one type of way and in a different type of way. That's what I'm getting from the Hangman here. You're able to see things from different perspectives. If that isn't resonating, I feel like you're being called to do so. So either you're already in this or Spirit is asking you to look at things from different perspectives. But the thing is here, when you give it too much, what's the word I'm looking for? When you have too much indecision, it's easy for people to take advantage of that and for them to gaslight you, essentially. I feel like you might be prone to gaslighting yourself as well, Pile 2. It's like you make too many excuses for the people who have done you wrong, and then you don't realize that they've done you wrong, or you're very quick to forgive, or you're very quick to... It's like you're quick to get over it, but you don't sit and think about it and what went on. It's like you don't want to dwell in it, which is, again, this energy is very different from the oracles. So again, you could be called to either be tapping into this energy or you're already there, because I'm asking myself a lot of questions here. It's kind of like your mind won't sit still enough to see exactly what is the right way to view the things that happened in the past. What you're being asked to do here is to be a little bit more direct, a little bit more blunt, to command respect for yourself. And I hope that's making sense. I'm trying to channel something here. This could also be the people who have come into your life trying to give you this kind of perspective. Like, let's say they were taking advantage of you and it was obvious to everybody else except you, because this person was trying to tell you all sorts of things. They were trying to spin things in very different ways. And instead of you whatever your gut feeling was initially, that's probably what was right. But this person kept trying to spin things differently. And in turn, it's made you a little distrustful. It's made you have to second guess yourself a lot. It's made you not really step into your power of being able to make choices, solid choices that you stick with. I feel like you'd rather let people make a decision for you as opposed to you make a decision yourself, because you're kind of afraid of the consequences. Because at some point in your life, some point in your past, you made decisions for yourself and somebody didn't like that because it wasn't what they wanted. They didn't care about what you wanted. It wasn't what they wanted. So instead, you've learned to, or you've coped by allowing everybody else to make a decision about yourself, because that's what the Two of Crystals is here. And even though it is a balance here, in this case, it's making me think more of an imbalance. I feel like if I read reversals, it would have come out reversed. In fact, the Hangman is here, and the Hangman is kind of like a reverse. It can lend its reversal to everything because it's essentially already a reversed card. But there's definitely a big old, what's the word? A mind flux, let's call it that. That this person, this situation, whatever it is that is hurting you, really messed with your mind to the point where you can't trust yourself or you can't trust your thoughts, and you really, it disempowered your decision making. It disempowered the way you think. It's odd. It's like it took away your agency to think for yourself. And that's part of the reason you haven't been able to really find something stabilizing, something grounding, something that will be long-lasting, that will take care of yourself. I feel like for most of you, it could be a relationship, and for others, it could be a career or a home or a place, whatever it is. So I feel like you're the kind of person who gets taken advantage of very easily. But at the same time, because you know this mindset and you know that this particular way of thinking brings in more people, it makes you rather popular and likable because you're never going to disagree with anybody. Instead, you're just going to find a middle ground or find a way to agree with them. Again, this is not a bad thing to have. This is so Moon in Libra, or Libra in general. And I love you guys. I love you so much. But that indecision, because I can feel your spirit guides asking you to step up. Just step up and stand up for yourself and know when you are being taken advantage of. Because a lot of you are very intuitive. And I feel like you know it right away. You know it when you see it, but you won't say anything about it. You know when people are trying to pull one over on you, but you won't do or say anything about it because you want to sit there and be agreeable. And I'm calling you out a little bit because I think you need it. Not to mess with your mind, but because you need to be aware. When you let go of that pain, you will start seeing people for who they are. Because that's what the Ace of Swords is. In fact, it's giving me the King and Queen of Swords. They want to come through. Some of you really doubt your intuition as well. Because even though you're intuitive, it's there. You doubt it. And again, I'm not sure if it's something like on an energetic level where it's something blocking it, or if somebody has come along and like made it so that you couldn't see through them, or made it so that you couldn't see through people trying to take advantage of you. Because I'm literally feeling like a crown of thorns here. In fact, I think the Hanged Man was inspired by like Jesus on the cross. Or if that doesn't resonate, if you don't like the Christian mythology behind it, it could be, it's martyrdom. I feel like it's martyrdom here. You sacrifice yourself so that other people can get ahead. But pile 2. You deserve all those good things too. You deserve to win sometimes. You deserve to stand your ground and get what it is you want out of some situation. I feel like you avoid salesmen for this very reason, because you know whatever it is that they need to sell you, you will buy it. Especially if you're somebody who's very wealthy, or if you know you can forego the money for that moment. I feel like you have so much empathy for that person, and you think, well, they probably need it more than I do. No, if you don't need whatever they're trying to sell you, don't buy it. But the Hangman is also surrendering and letting go, which I feel you surrender quite often. So this is something that needs to be healed. I'm going to draw more cards, and I didn't do this for the first pile because their situation was a little bit more honest for me. I'm going to leave this here because it was the back of the deck energy. But I'm going to draw 2 more cards to see how, well, 1, what more clarity we can gain on this, and 2, how to, what would be the best way about going healing this, because I feel like if I just left you to your own devices, you wouldn't know either. If you deal with any kind of chakra healing, start with the third eye. Start with the third eye, the throat, and the crown, the upper 3 chakras. Some of you could benefit from learning how to use a pendulum, or from maybe even tarot, but I feel like tarot can take a little bit longer to learn than the pendulum, or anything that's like a yes no. You could use a coin as well, like one side will be yes, one side will be no. Just make sure you tap into your energy, you meditate, you bring in light before you do so. Okay, so we have 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. If you have loved ones that you can trust, ask them to be very honest with you. Ask them to be like devastatingly honest. And by this, I mean like friends that you know will never hurt you, or friends that you know, or family that you know, if they have to say something with tough love, you know it's coming from a good place. So some of you could call this in if you don't have somebody like this, or you could find somebody who will be very honest but still cares. In some cases, it could be a parent as well, one that wasn't, you know, abusive toward you. Though I do feel like some of you at one point try to go to a parent, the same parent that tried to hurt you or did hurt you in the past. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter how much they've healed, it can be far too easy for them to slip back into their old ways. So I would advise against this. I say this because I've seen it. I've seen this very same thing happen, and it broke my heart because I had to see somebody be a victim of it. But let's see what else. Another way to heal for my pile. My beautiful pile 2. 8 of Wands. So this is quick action. This is swift action. The way intuition comes through, it's very quick. Intuition is very fast. If you ever watch a tarot reading and the reader is channeling and they're talking very, very fast, I do this from time to time in my readings. Not in this one because I have to speak clearly enough that you can understand what I'm trying to tell you. But whenever we're channeling and we're talking very fast, that's our intuition popping in. Intuition is fast. It's very quick. It can be slow like it is right now because, like I said, there's a purpose to the way I'm having to tell you these things. But when you first approach something or a situation or somebody, the first instance you have, the first gut feeling you have about them, or even the first thought, will be the most accurate one. Because I forget what the actual time is that I've been told, but they say within 10 seconds you should know everything about this person because that's how intuition works. It's very quick. And it'll take some practice. You could always practice with, like, I don't know, maybe a video, like pause it and think about what's going to happen. And that's how you train your intuition. And then play the video and see if like any of what you thought is going to happen. But especially when it comes to meeting people, and I've learned to trust this, because at first I thought, oh, well, I'm just being judgy. I'm being very judgmental. Sometimes our own judgmentalness can be it can be our own the self-defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism, essentially. Because especially me growing up, I got taken advantage of so easily. Or I was very naive, or I believed people whenever they told me anything and sometimes I still do this, unfortunately, that I would just disregard my intuition. I would disregard the gut feeling. But as I grew older, that intuition grew stronger to the point that it became anxiety because I was refusing to listen to it. So once I learned how to tap into my intuition, how to meditate, how to better understand the feelings I was getting whenever I met somebody, it became a lot better. And here I am today trying to give you the same advice because I really hope it will help you get through this pile too. So intuition is fast. It's soft. It's not always alarming. It's only alarming when you're in danger. So it's not always alarming, but it's soft, it's quiet, and it feels like love. And it feels like, to me at least, it's the very first thoughts I have about somebody whenever you meet them. And it's not going to be face value either. Don't look at them. If you have to, look away and see how you feel. Because some people are really good at manipulating how they make you think of them by their appearance. And we've all known people like this. They're gorgeous on the outside, and on the inside, they're absolute trash. So make sure you're not looking on the outside. You're feeling what's going on inside. And if you're not that empathic, think about your first thoughts about them whenever they speak or whenever they do something, not their physical appearance. I feel like some people can tell by physical appearance how somebody is, but it's only if you're very discerning about physical appearances and not led astray by a pretty face. Because again, we've all been there. We've seen somebody absolutely gorgeous be absolute trash. And that's unfortunate. I feel like that's how a lot of us get heartbroken. Or what they say. Because I feel like a lot of people can feed us a lot of fantasies, or, you know, tell us exactly what we need to say. This was always my biggest thing when people tried to compliment me. It was a problem. I was complimented in order to be taken advantage of when I was very young. Very young. So growing up, I would not take any compliments. Even if they were honest and even if they were well-intentioned, even if they had nothing to gain from me, I would reject every compliment. And that affected, it's part of that self-love journey. You have to learn how to receive compliments from a good place. So it's that kind of energy, pile 2. Whenever they speak to you, how do you feel about what it is they are saying? How do they sound? Does it feel forced? You could also benefit from, and I've been trying to do this, learning how to read body language. Particularly, there's this guy he has YouTube videos, but he used to work for the CIA. I forget what his name is. And if you know who he is, drop him down in the comments below. But he used to work for the CIA, and it's not the visual cues you would think. It's always random things. So if you need to watch videos on how to read people's physical appearance or like their body language or how they say things, not the eyes. I feel like the eyes are the only exception because I'm somebody who does not make eye contact easily, especially with strangers. Not because I'm a shady person, but because if I do, I will learn everything about their soul. It's kind of annoying for me. I do that as a self-defense mechanism again, and hopefully that's something I can heal in the future. But yeah, learn ways to discern whether somebody is being honest with you or not, whether they're trying to take advantage of you or not. You will find the right resources in the right time when you need them, for free or the right price. You shouldn't have to spend too much money on this. But yeah, this is heavy. But I'm sending you so much love, pile 2. Let's move on to your closing advice. So for my pile 2, I'm going to use a Kuan Yin Oracle card. I've been using her a lot lately, and she's been amazing. She is the goddess of mercy. So we have the Tao 38. I will read from the book for this. But first, let me get the Gods and Titans deck. Sorry if you notice a cut pile 2. I had to deal with storage issues. But let me go ahead and get your Gods and Titans card. Like I said, some of you could be musicians because she's playing, I think that's a harp. Okay, we have Hermes, communication, which is funny. You know what song was stuck in my head as I was doing technical difficulty stuff? I forget who sings it, and this song was from a while, but I think it's called Don't Tell 'Em, and it samples Rhythm as a Dancer, but Don't Tell 'Em. Don't Tell 'Em keeps coming through. So I'm not sure who you're trying to tell what's going on here, but I feel like that's what Hermes is trying to tell you here with communication. You don't have to tell everybody everything. You don't have to tell them your thought process. And I feel like a lot of you are like really good talkers or thinkers. Huge Mercury energy is coming through. It was before, but now more so than ever because it's being confirmed by Hermes here. You don't have to tell them what's going on. You don't have to tell everybody anything. Think Scorpio energy. Be secretive. Be mysterious. Don't be afraid of that. And then the Affirmators card. So yeah, you don't have to tell anybody what you're going through. You don't have to tell them your thought process. You don't even have to tell them that you know they're lying. Because I feel like that will just make them want to lie even better. I've known somebody like this where I know they lie. And I pointed it out to them one time and they just got better. It's a game of cat and mouse with me and this person. So it was nothing malicious, but I just knew. But they can't play me. I mean, you guys know what I do. Okay, so you got my own champion. I am an unabashed, unconditional, shouting through a megaphone champion of myself and my work. If a useless, up-to-no-good critical voice in my head tries to discourage, dissuade, or diss me, I politely say, thank you for your input. Then I much less politely stuff the critical voice into a box, light the box on fire, and throw it into a bottomless abyss. I knew that abyss would come in handy one day. Oh, I love this. I love this. It's like you're taking all that critiquing people did, all the complaining they did at you, anything negative that anybody has ever thrown at you in any way, shape, or form, you taking that and putting it back in a box and setting it on fire. I love that for you, pile 2. I definitely see you getting out of this funk, out of this thing that you are trying to heal, whether it's from the past, whether it was from last week, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it's from either. You're taking all of that. You're even taking your own self-hate, putting it in a box and letting it go because you don't need that. You're meant to thrive. You're meant to be quite an impressive communicator as well. And I feel like once you let this go, that throat chakra will open along with the heart. It's going to stem from the heart and go all the way up. And I feel like a lot of you are going to tap into your intuition in such a profound way. And I'm going to read from the book for the Tao as well. I didn't forget that. This is number 38. And I opened right up to it. The Tao is always flowing, always nourishing life into creation, always presenting steps and solutions, and always reminding us that we are perfection in this moment. We are perfection in this moment, pile 2. You, me, and anybody else. We are perfection in this moment. You are being guided to relax and allow life to flow. Oh, I love this so much. This is beautiful. The Tao here is essentially letting you know that you will be on the right path when you let this go. And I feel like you already are, and you may have to let this go, you know, day by day, month by month, week by week. You heal at your own pace. Just know that as long as you're doing it, as long as you're taking one step toward it every day, you're getting there. You're getting there. And I'm very proud of you, pile 2. But this is where I leave you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated or you would like to claim it, please do so in the comments. And if you feel like doing so, you can like and subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose this beautiful green calcite, then we have your reading here for healing and letting go. What we need to let go in order to heal and what we need to heal in order to let go. So whichever resonates more. We're going to start with the oracles to get a gist of what is going on with you, and then we're going to tap into the tarot once we find out what it is to see how to better let the situation go. And so far, they have all dealt with the heart space in one way, shape, or form, which doesn't surprise me. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I told the other piles. Healing comes from the heart. The way we tap into our intuition comes from the heart, because it all comes to the center. It's the center where it expands. It's the center where it allows us to both love ourselves, love others, and to really let this cycle of love flow throughout the world. It's what we're meant to do as healers, light workers, empaths, intuitives, whatever it is you want to call yourself, even creatives as well. Because creatives do heal by creating something for the world, whether that's artwork, whether that's inventions, innovation, whatever it is you do, as well as teachers. Teachers heal through empowering people with knowledge. But let's start with your oracles. We have, ooh, I like this card. She pops out a lot, but I also have to cover it. Compassion. 29, loving kindness, tenderness, and tolerance. We also have transformation, number 42. I want to say that's a phoenix. So already we got some Scorpio energy. We also have Eros. There we go. We have the star. 16, make an altar. And you got 2 of the letting go cards. So let's start with this one. You are royal. You are sovereign. Honor this and let go of those who do not acknowledge it. And then we have this one. She's covering one eye, but they're both closed. Or I guess she can't see through either of them. If you have a problem, you have an opportunity. So let go of all the blame. There is something here about the sensual side of you coming through, because we have Eros, which is erotic love, and then we have transformation, which I immediately think of Scorpio because this is a phoenix, and phoenix is one of Scorpio's animals. So some of you, you're transforming the way you see yourself. What you are letting go of is this preconceived notion that you are unlovable, or that you're not, you know, desirable in any way, or that you're a little weird. I don't know why. When I got this card, and I do not mean to judge here. This isn't really how I think, but for whatever reason, and I'm saying this as somebody who grew up with altars. I grew up Catholic, so there's always been altars in my house, or in my houses, in the houses I grew up in, within temples. But you know how the one thing that was coming to mind was from Hey Arnold. It was, oh, what's her name? The crazy girl who was mean to Arnold, but she secretly loved him and had like a big old altar dedicated to him in her closet. This card made me think of weird girl energy or weird boy energy. Like somebody thinks you're weird, or you think somebody thinks you're weird because of the things you do, and therefore you are seen as undesirable. Because yeah, Helga, that's her name, Helga. Helga's obsession with Arnold, even though she's mean to him, but on the inside, like she's just obsessed with him. It's a love-hate kind of thing. I'm not saying that that's you, pile 3, at least not anymore. If you used to be in the past, maybe acknowledge it and let it go. That could be one thing you could start with. But there's a sense here that some of you feel you're just undesirable, which is kind of funny because I'm not sure. Like a lot of this feels very aspirational. Like the star makes me think or feel that some of you really want to be the star. You want to be the center of attention, but you have to question yourself why. Again, I'm not judging here. Is it because you want to seem desirable by either the opposite sex or whatever sex you want to deem you desirable? It could be both. I mean, it doesn't matter here. You want to be seen as desirable for some reason, but there's something stopping you from it. If you have a problem, you have an opportunity. So let go of all the blame. And what exactly are these problems? I'm going to go ahead and read from, I'm going to start with the Eros card because I feel like I am missing something here, because I'm reading this as erotic love, but it could also just be romantic love in general. You know what's funny? I opened up this book and the first one that popped up was actually the Lover. So I feel like this pile, we're going to deal with sensuality and love. I really feel it's going to be like the main thing here. So if that's not resonating with you, I do ask you to go to the other 2 piles. They had very different situations. One did deal with romantic love, but not in the way you think. So I feel like that could apply to anybody. But this in particular is dealing with eroticism. I'm going to go ahead and read from this one, and then I'm going to read from the Lover because I happen to open up to it. So we have love as desire, eroticism, and sensuality. Though Eros can be depicted as unbridled sexuality and eroticism, a more contemplative understanding of this archetypical energy leads us to the root of desire itself. What do we long for? Why are we awakened by love? What makes us hesitate in the face of intimacy? Eros reconnects us with the primal longing to merge with another human being, nature, music, art, plants, food, or anything that we perceive we are separate from. Eros allows us to momentarily unite. Our heart embraces otherness, and in doing so, we further understand our own. Our life force awakens. This card reveals an inevitable initiation into love's labyrinth. You may find yourself swirling in a new territory of desire and sensuality. Explore the labyrinth with a curious and honest heart. And remember, though the way is circuitous, you are always being led towards its center. I have so much I could say about this because I had to do a reading like this at one point, and I had to make it 18 plus because I had to be very blunt about the subject matter. But here, I don't want to make this 18 plus because I feel like whoever stumbled upon this reading has to hear it. I feel like you're going to be on one end of the spectrum or the other, where you could use physical intimacy. You could use your relations with people as either an escape, or you could fear it all together and say, I want nothing to do with that. So decide where you are, but it's going to be on one extreme end of the spectrum or the other. Because I feel like it applies, both could apply to you, pile 3, believe it or not. So even though some of you might not want to hear about it, I feel like you may have to hear about it. So if you stuck around and this isn't something that you think isn't for you, or you think this is something that isn't for you, it might just be. But let me go ahead and read the Lover. The heart, the beloved, the devoted. Pulsing through the heart of the Lover is gratitude. The Lover appreciates and experiences the world through the senses of reveling in beauty, song, art, music, sense, and sensuality. This energy awakens at the tip of our tongue when we taste the sweetness of honey. Kiss a lover or speak gentle words to a child. The Lover lingers in foreplay, aroused not by the getting there, but by the slow merging of self and other. This energy is usually experienced for short periods of time, as in order to feel it, we must fully present and awake. We must be fully present and awake. We must be fully present, pile 3, and awake, with no exceptions or rules about what should be. Rather, the Lover is in awe of what the world presents, reveling in the glorious details, grateful to savor every last drop of life's offerings. So, let's start with those of you who have a fear of intimacy. And let's ask ourselves why. It's a very vulnerable space we have to be in order to allow ourselves to be that intimate with somebody. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But somewhere along the way to that, it doesn't matter whether you've had this experience or not before, there is a lack of trust there, a lack of wanting to be seen. And yet you also long to be like the star of your show. You long for something, a connection here. I think why you got the compassion card is that there's a lack of compassion for yourself for the things you've done in the past. And I feel like this can apply to you even if you have had multiple encounters and have had them be unfulfilling. Because I'm feeling like shame or regret or something here that is just preventing you from really allowing yourself to see you as you are, this beautiful, beautiful person, this beautiful human being with a heart that beats for anybody and everybody, who's able to give themselves in many ways to other people. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like some of you, again, it's that lack of feeling worthy for some reason. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how old you are, it does matter how young you are. You better be over 18. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you've done. You deserve love in the way you deserve to be loved. Whether that's romantically, sensually, whether that's from a person that you want to be your counterpart, whether that's from friends, whether that's from anybody. Because the star makes me think of adoration, like the people who adore you, the people who want to be your fans, be, supporters of whatever it is that you do. And instead, you feel that you have to hide away and be like Helga, hiding that love that she has for Arnold in her little closet in this weird little it's a weird way to put it. Like, I don't want to say she was doing witchcraft. I don't know what she was doing. I didn't really watch that show. I just remember that one particular thing sticking out to me about that show because it was just so weird. Like, I'd never seen it before. I'm like, but she freaking hates him. And then you see that. It's like, oh, she's crazy. You're not crazy, pile 3. You're not crazy for wanting to be loved, even though you're also afraid of intimacy and of trusting somebody. And also afraid of feeling that you are worthy. Because I feel like it's easy to feel we're not worthy, but I feel like you fear being worthy, if that makes any sense. And it's kind of weird the way I'm channeling this energy. I really do feel like I'm speaking to a friend. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who is just so lovable, so beautiful, and so worthy of everything they could ever want. And they themselves don't see it. You yourself might have a friend like that, pile 3. Or you may know somebody like this where you're just like, what are you talking about? You don't deserve this. You deserve it more than anybody I know. I feel this in the heart. I feel this in the way people have seen you transform, pile 3. They've seen you glow up. The transformation card is definitely a glow up, but it's like on the outside you're there. On the outside you are worthy, you're beautiful. You've accumulated this radiance that really draws in people, but on the inside you just don't accept it, or you don't feel it, or you don't feel, again, worthy, even though on the outside you do. And one thing that this could have done is brought in people that they saw your beauty, but they also saw that you had insecurities. So they were going to use those insecurities against you in order to get you to do whatever you want, or whatever they want. They were going to make you think it was what you wanted, but they were going to get you to do whatever they want. So if that's where that lack of trust comes from, I understand. But this is where you have to regain this crown. You are royal. You are sovereign. Honor this and let go of those who do not acknowledge it. If you were called to pile 1, you might want to go there, because I did quote King Without a Crown by Maris Yahoo there. But you don't have to listen to that song. It just lets me know that you shouldn't let anybody take away your pride. You shouldn't let anybody make you feel inferior. Especially on the inside. Especially on the inside, pile 3. There's a lot of heart-centered energy shifting here. Again, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what you've done. You deserve love. Everybody deserves love. As long as you yourself are coming in with a very pure heart, with pure intentions, there is nothing wrong with wanting to be loved either. There's nothing wrong with asking for that. If you have found yourself in relationships where you've tried to give and give and give, and this person either doesn't give back as much as you do, or you feel that they don't have to give because you somehow feel you're not worthy of it, well, that wasn't you. It wasn't your fault that they wouldn't give, because you somehow expected them to and they never did. But the truth is, it's like somewhere within inside you, you didn't allow that to happen. And this could have been in the erotic way. Like, maybe, yes, they loved you, but maybe they never gave you enough of what it is that you wanted. It doesn't even have to be erotic, but that's just one example that's coming through. It could also be not showing up for you in the way you needed them to show up. It could be them not saying the things you needed them to say. Whatever it was that you were looking for these relationships or within other people, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not you. It's part of them seeing a part of you that is broken. And rather than, I hope I'm saying this right. I'm trying to get the wording to this right. They were responding to the energy you were giving off. It's like you were giving them the red light, so they were stopping. But you were not doing this on purpose. So I'm not saying you deserved this, but this was just the energy you were giving off, so that's how they reacted. If that makes sense. It sounds like I'm blaming it on you, and I'm not. Just understand, it's a very tricky thing to navigate. And I'm saying this as somebody who has been there as well. This is something that I feel like we're always continually healing, depending on how much has gone on in our past. What else am I missing from this? Some of you could benefit from making an altar for yourself and everything that you are. What I'm seeing is somebody like putting up all their diplomas or all their achievement certificates, whatever it is, any employee of the month plaques, put them up on a wall. Make an altar to yourself to remind yourself how amazing you are. Like, you have your name in gold writing somewhere. Let people treat you that way. Not with fear and not with this sense of unattainability, but that you are deserving of respect, that you have this silent crown within you, and they better worship you. I really hope that made sense. I am being pointed to this diamond here. A lot of you are pure diamonds and you don't even know it. You may feel like a rock, but you are pure diamonds and you don't even know it, pile. Pile 3. In fact, this star here, she's wearing a crown on her head. This imagery pops up a lot in my readings. The whole idea of like a crown and like royalty. You yourself deserve to be treated like royalty, Pile 3. Regardless of what you actually think of royalty, we're not going to talk about that. You yourself are royal. So make sure people act accordingly. But let's move on to the tarot to see how we can heal this, or what we need to look into in order to heal. I'm doing a 3-card pull here, or at the very least I'm going to try. I had to end up taking more cards out in the past piles. But the initial 3 cards, we're going to see how to heal the inside. This is going to be internal, and the 2 cards on the sides are either going to assist this energy, or it's going to be external things you can help heal the inside. To heal the heart space. So for my pile 3, how do we let them know they are worthy of being loved? How do they heal this lack of worthiness within them? Strength. I'm not surprised, because what did I say about the crown? Leos make me think of crowns. Taming the beast within you. That beast is that feeling of unworthiness. Okay, so how do we do this? Transformation, number 13. This would be the death card. Which is funny. We had transformation again. In fact, where's that card? Yeah. So there. Something about a transformation. Okay, but how can we heal this? This is being very stubborn. I feel like you yourself are a stubborn person as well, pile 3. Or you may have some stubborn traits when it comes to the heart space. 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. Do things that make you feel good. Take that a little 18 plus. Don't be afraid to enjoy people just to enjoy them. Don't be afraid to try to, God, I hope. If they're giving you compliments, by all means, just take the compliment. Ask for more compliments. Don't be afraid to fish for compliments every now and then. In a healthy way. I feel like some of you may already do this. I'm going to get back of the deck energy. Knight of Crystals. Knight of Pentacles. Find somebody that grounds you. You could embody this energy of being grounded. I feel like some of you could benefit from truly looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing you for what you are, and know that all your imperfections are very much perfections. All your imperfections are very much perfections, pile 3. It's like learn to look at the ugliest parts of yourself and learn to love them. Learn to see them through the lens of an artist, of somebody who knows that there is beauty in everything. There's beauty in all the world. If you can find beauty in like the darkest, stormiest sky, then there is beauty within you. If you can find beauty within volcanic eruption, if you can find beauty within the... I'm seeing the earth destroy itself, but I'm not exactly sure what it means by that. If you can find beauty in nature, and nature can get pretty ugly, then there is beauty within you. Everything you do, everything you've done, everything you look like is a culmination of a story of yourself. So how can you not find that beautiful? How can you not think that even the ugliest parts of you, there's going to be somebody out there, people out there who are going to love your rage. And this is proof because there's plenty of bands out there that sing really angry music and people love them. And not because they're going to enable the angry side of you, but because they're going to see that you being honest about your feelings, you being true to how you feel, is somehow beautiful in itself. If there's any part of you that you feel is just not worthy or deserving of being loved, look at it again. Look at it again through the eyes of somebody who finds everything beautiful. Look at it through the eyes of a child who sees everything with such new appreciation for learning what it is and trying to understand what it is. Sometimes they understand as well, but regardless, there's a feeling here that some of you are refusing to see parts of yourself because you feel like they're not even worth looking at. Look at yourself. It doesn't matter if it's in a mirror. It doesn't matter if it's within meditation. Look at yourself exactly as you are and know that everything about you is beautiful, especially those things that you think aren't beautiful. Look at your deepest insecurity and know that somebody out there absolutely loves it. Somebody out there is going to see it. And even if there isn't somebody out there who isn't going to, you know what? Forget that. There will be somebody out there. Even if you yourself are not looking for a partner, even if you yourself aren't looking for a counterpart, doesn't matter. I promise you there's somebody out there who is a fan of whatever it is that you think is awful about yourself. And not in a weird way either. Not in the Helga and Arnold kind of way from Hey Arnold. We're talking about in a way that is healthy, in a way that lets you know that everything about you is beautiful, because at the end of the day, you are an energy of love, an energy of overflowing light. And how can people not see that and think, wow, that's beauty itself? I'm going to get one more card for you. And I'm going to leave this here because it was back of the deck energy. But, oh, okay, you know what? We also have the Knight of Wands, which I'm not surprised. Like I said, there's somebody out there who's going to think you're absolutely beautiful, absolutely hot, even if you're not looking for it. Even if you don't want anything with this person. The fact that they're giving you compliments, take it. The fact that they find you to be the most beautiful, sexiest thing ever, take it and be like, of course I am. Of course I am, and of course you think I am. Because you're very much worthy of that kind of attention, of that kind of light. Let them give you that compliment and believe it. Oppression. This is the Devil card. Like I said, I feel like some of you have used relations with people in the past. Back of the deck, King of Crystals, Knight of Crystals. These, you could see this as your past lovers. A King of Crystals would be a King of Pentacles, a Knight of Wands, a Knight of Pentacles. People who you thought would stay, but only ended up being momentary, temporary, or momentary moment. I don't know where I was going with that. Momentary. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself, but also allowing people to love yourself. And I know there's a fine line between where it's healthy and where it's not. So I feel like what you're trying to heal, Pile 3, is not something that can easily be healed. It will be healed by the way you see yourself, by the way you decide to wake up every day and use transformation as a way of understanding that just like water, just like the wind, you're ever flowing, ever changing. You're going to change, and there's nothing wrong with that. The way you see yourself, the way you get desires or feel the need to be desired, it ebbs and flows. Some days you're going to want all the attention in the world, and other days you're not. Again, there's something beautiful within that. The Nine of Cups makes me think, yes, wish fulfillment, but also go with the flow of what it is that you need and find somebody, should you want somebody, that can also reciprocate this. Because there are people out there like this. Oppression is the devil, but it's also making me think of lust. It's also making me think that some of you feel ashamed for wanting this attention, for wanting to feel desirable or beautiful or whatever. There is nothing wrong with you wanting to see yourself that way. Absolutely not, because you are beauty in itself. Just like you are an embodiment of love, you are also an embodiment of beauty, Pile 3. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter how you wake up that day, doesn't matter what shows up on your face or on your body that day, doesn't matter what you're going through. You are beauty. And you will find somebody, you will find people who find all this beauty within you. But most importantly, you have to find it within yourself and understand and accept that. And only then will these people show up. And it's easier said than done, I know. But I'm here to tell you, you are so beautiful, Pile 3. And you need to understand it. You need to understand, not just accept it, truly understand it. Take a mirror and look at yourself. Look at every part of yourself and tell yourself, I love you, I love this, I love that, I love me. Just do it. That's my little healing activity for you. But yeah, I'm actually really loving this energy. Also, we have strength, transformation, and oppression. The transformation, I love that this is coming through because it could be a glow up, but the glow up is going to be internal. Because you can put on all the makeup you want on your face. If you don't feel confident, you're not going to look or come across as confident. That's what that's giving me. Or haircut or whatever, clothes, whatever it is. Because I've seen some incredibly dressed people. I mean, people who dress really well. But when you look on the inside, you know they're insecure. You know they're insecure, or they don't know what to do, or they hide that insecurity by acting aloof or nonchalant, or like they're better than everybody. This isn't you, Pile 3. You're going to look exactly how you are on the inside, and that is drop dead gorgeous. But let's move on to some closing advice. By the way, you have a lot of admirers. I thought I should let you know that. Some of you probably already know, but those of you who think you don't have any, I promise you, you do. I promise you. Look around. Look around at who's looking at you when they think you're not looking. All right, we're gonna get a card from the Kuan Yin Oracle. This is the Goddess of Mercy. Bamboo Moon, number 1. I'm being told to get another for you. Blossoms of the Sky Dancer. I love these cards. They're so beautiful. And the fact that she's facing this way, like we get that side profile. Some of you aren't aware how gorgeous you are or how beautiful or handsome, whatever you want to call yourself, you are until people see a very weird, well, maybe not weird, a very particular angle of yourself that you yourself are not capable of seeing. You really don't know how people perceive you because, well, 1, you're not them, and 2, think about it. There's people who are taller, shorter. They're able to get different angles of your face that you yourself will never see. Doesn't matter what mirror you look in, because even mirrors can look different to everybody. Same thing with these cameras. Sometimes I'll take a selfie with one camera and then another. And it's been proven because of the lens, it will distort our face and make it look a particular way. So if maybe taking pictures is something you worry about because of how you're going to look for the proper camera to take a picture of yourself. Whether that's like a... what's it called, a digital camera, or like the phone camera. I've noticed phone cameras tend to make people look more, I forget what it is, but they're not as accurate as you think they are. All right, and then we have a card from the Gods and Titans deck. I will read from the book for these to let you know what this is. Some of you could be dancers as well, but the moon is letting me know some of you could have Cancer placements or a very strong moon within your chart. Ooh, we have Poseidon, flow. I feel like this one goes to the dancers. Some of you are really learning how to go with the flow. And I feel like this is the moon cycles. It could also be your menstrual cycle, should you have one. But there are going to be days that you shine and radiate this gorgeousness, this beauty, and this energy, particularly the energy to do things, to be creative. And there are going to be days when you need to lie low and you're not going to feel as great. So really learn how to go with those in order to feel at your best. If you're in a week where you know it's not going to be the best for being in social circles or dating or going, you know, to public events, remember to take time off. But if it's a week where you're going to radiate, by all means, shine brightly. Shine bright like a diamond. And then we're going to get a card from the Affirmators Deluxe deck. Clarity. Ooh. Stopping to listen to my inner self, I can easily separate my intuition from my mental chatter. That mental chatter is what's making you feel ugly, pile 3. The clarity of my intuition is a sweet, simple fruit that tastes familiar. And the mental chatter is a confusing, bitter rind that I shall peel off and chuck into the garbage of compost heap if your mental chatter happens to be organic. Yeah, some of you, like I said, you're not seeing yourself for how you really are with this clarity card. That's why when people give you compliments, believe them. Even if you've had a past of people giving you compliments to get whatever it is that they wanted out of you, you will know when they're genuine and you will know to accept them. And even if they're lying, whatever, take them anyway. That's on them for being ridiculous because you're obviously exactly what they said you are. In some instances, and this is very weird, it's not going to be for everybody. Some people are aware you're very beautiful and they could try to flirt with you. Like, yes, they're trying to get you to do something, but they're also trying to flirt with you. This is a very particular energy coming through, and I'm not sure who this is. You might know who it is. You might know who I'm talking about. They're trying to pretend that they don't like you by being a charmer, but they really do like you. Like they're testing it out to see how you react, or they want to get a reaction out of you. You know who this is. It's that playboy, playgirl person that you probably have a thing with every now and then. But it's all surface level, so whatever. Have your fun with it. Okay, let me read from the book for the Bamboo Moon. Did you know that there are no mistakes in the universe, and all events, circumstances, relationships, and situations are unfolding in perfection with the timing and intelligence of the divine plan? Any apparent delay is in your favor. If something is happening for you right now, then that is perfect too. Divine timing is perfection. It is safe to trust this now. I'm going to read the next part too. You might be wondering if anything is ever going to come together for you, or if it seems to be happening quickly now, if you are even ready for it. The answer is yes. I feel like that might have been something completely separate here, pile 3. So just take that as confirmation that whatever it is that you're waiting for, or if you're ready for something, the answer is yes. And then I'm going to read from Blossoms of the Sky Dancer. Do you guys remember Sky Dancers? 90s babies, or maybe 80s babies as well. The little dolls that you would like spin, they came on a little thing and you yanked the string and they would spin up in the air. Sky Dancers, that's what I'm thinking of. Not sure why. Okay. Blossoms of the Sky Dancer. Kuan Yin dances creative energy and light across the sky, causing blossoms to descend. In the same way, when we tap into our spiritual power of creation, we cause our life and all of life around us to bloom. Creation is natural spiritual power within you, beloved. Force can slow down the process. It is time to stop striving and to allow your manifestation to occur. Trust, let go, allow your creation to flow. Flow, and that's what Poseidon has right here. Something about flowing. It doesn't necessarily have to be cycles, but going with the flow. And several things are coming to mind as I was reading that. One was the blossoming of blossoms, and makes me think of spring. So the springtime could be an important time for you, pile 3. It also made me think of cherry blossoms. So maybe some of you really resonate with cherry blossoms. It also made me think of creativity. In particular, and this is going to be for a few of you who want to get pregnant. There's something here about pregnancy and beauty, or feeling worthy of something to do with feeling worthy of being beautiful, even though you're a mother or even though you're pregnant. Don't be afraid to slap on that makeup even if you're 9 months pregnant. If you want to feel good, you are allowed to feel good. Same thing when you still have that baby and that baby's a preemie and you have to do all this stuff. Don't be afraid to look good. If anyone tries to shame you for it, that's on them. I mean, by all means, still pay attention to your kid, obviously. But don't be ashamed of trying to look good for people, because you're really doing it for you. And with Poseidon flow, again, the water energy is coming through here. I am going to read from the book because I don't know much about Poseidon other than he's the god of the sea, the god of the ocean. And with flow, I am getting this feeling of emotions. What this is letting me know is that whatever counterpart you're looking for, they will flow in the same manner that you do. So you could have similar emotional attunements, or you could both have a similar Mars, a Mars in the same element, or even the same Mars. You could both have Mars and Pisces, for example. But let me go ahead and read about Poseidon. So we have Poseidon. Expect a greater flow of creativity, ease, or prosperity. This card is a siren call to protect and enjoy the stunning oceans of the world. Yeah, some of you could be... I feel like if you live near water, this could be very soothing, or just being in water in general could provide some sort of clarity or some sort of appreciation, or even a beginning to something beautiful. But this is where I leave you, my beautiful pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If any of this resonated, or if you would like to claim it, please do so in the comments below. And if you feel like doing so, you can like and subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. Take care.